Hippocrates, who happens to be the father of modern science, the father of modern medicine, made a profound statement in the year 256 BC when he visited Africa. He realized that African people were eating right from the plant, right from the tree. They were eating exactly what they were growing. Therefore, the people at that time were not falling sick, were not dying prematurely, were absolutely very, very strong. So he made that statement, and I quote, he said, let your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food. When you fast forward this statement into our modern society, into our modern life, you realize that it is very, very important for us to check what we eat, because whatever you are going to eat as a person today will determine your good health tomorrow. So if you eat something which is not good, automatically it is going to have a direct effect on your health. And this brings me to the topic I want to discuss with you today. In today's video, I'm going to tell you, or I'm going to highlight to you, food that if men take will make them very, very weak in the other room. Because it is the wish and the goal of every man to be able to satisfy his partner in the other room, to be able to make his partner very, very happy in the other room. If a man is not able to fulfill this goal, if a man is not able to do all these things, automatically the man's confidence will begin to go down, and psychologically it is even going to affect the man. So every man's wish is to be able to perform very well, is to be able to make his partner, his coach, very, very happy. A man can have all the wealth in this world. A man can have all the luxurious cars. A man can have all the luxurious homes. A man can have all the beautiful women around him. If he cannot satisfy, if he cannot fulfill that single act, if he cannot perform very well in that single act, automatically such a man is going to be nobody, in the society, not only in the eyes of his coach or his partner, but in the entire society in general. So men don't take this topic. Men don't take this thing very, very lightly. When it comes to this issue, men take it very, very seriously. And it is against some of these backdrops that I have decided to pinpoint to you food that can make men very, very weak in the other room. So if you are a man and you are watching me, please kindly stick and stay and watch this very video all the way to the end. And if this happens to be your first time also, please kindly subscribe to the YouTube channel. Kindly press the subscribe button. Just press the subscribe button right now before I even continue. I'm waiting for you. Just press it. Press the subscribe button. Yes. Thank you very much for subscribing it. And then after that, you can just press the bell button you can see, and then you select all. I'm asking you to do this so that anytime we upload content like the one you are just watching, you are automatically going to get the notification. Now, let's jump straight into the foods that can make you very weak in the other room. Are you ready? Number one, sodas. If you are a man and you are a fan of drinking sodas, or you are a fan of drinking carbonated soft drinks, bear in mind that you are likely to perform very abysmal in the other room. This is simply because some of these sodas are full of additives and other chemicals which affect the liver. And not only that, they also contain high amount of sugar. And as a man, anytime you are a fan of taking things that has a lot of sugars in them, it is the liver which is going to suffer, because the liver has to convert these simple sugars into fat, which eventually is going to affect the liver. Therefore, anytime the liver is also affected, automatically your performance in the other room too is going to be very, very abysmal. So that is number one. Two, drinking of alcohol. If a man drinks a lot of alcohol, too much alcohol, or a man is addicted to alcohol, such a man will not be able to perform very well anytime given the chance to play in the football arena. This is simply because you and I know that too much of alcohol can damage the liver. And anytime the liver is in trouble, automatically your performance as a man in the field is not going to be okay. Because there is a very great linkage between the liver and then your performance as a man. A lot of men don't know this thing. Anytime your liver is in trouble, you are not going to be able to perform well as a man. It is going to affect your performance in the other room. So men should be very, very careful. If you are someone who takes in alcohol, you have to check yourself very well. Otherwise, you end up not performing very well in the other room. So that's number 2. 3, eating highly processed food, meaning food that have passed through a lot of processes. Human beings are made to eat food that doesn't need any process. That is why I quoted to you from the beginning of this video that when Hippocrates came to Africa, he realized that as soon as the people cultivate their food from the farm, they just eat it either raw or they just take it through a very simple process, then they eat it. Anytime whatever you eat passes through long chain of process, it tells you that such a food will also kill you slowly. So if a man is fan of eating foods that passes through a lot of processes, automatically such a man is going to be very weak in the other room. Highly processed food such as burgers, such as cheese, such as pizzas, such as other foods, junk food. You all know, you watching me, you know them. You know the junk foods around them. I don't need to even mention any name. So when your food passes through a lot of process, when your food passes through chain of processes as a man, you have to bear in mind that there's no way your performance in the other room is going to be very, very good. So eating a lot of high processed food can also cause you to perform very abysmal. 4, trans fat. Trans fat means oils that are easily to get saturated, or oils that goes into trans, meaning that changes forms anytime they get into a very cold condition. And vegetable oils are a typical example. If you are a man and the food you eat are made with some of these vegetables oils, the likelihood that your arteries are going to get clogged, your arteries are going to be blocked, your arteries and veins are going to be narrowed is very, very high. So as a man, you need to check the kind of fat you have to eat. So if you are a fan of eating a lot of trans fat, there is no way your performance in the other room is going to be very, very okay, and your coach is never going to be happy with you. Number 5, plastic bottles. This might sound a bit controversial because I know you are wondering why plastic bottles can affect your performance as a man in the other room. This is simply because, for example, as you can see this plastic bottle I am holding, it contains water. Anytime water is poured into a plastic bottle or any consumable item is poured into plastic bottle, there is a chemical which is used in manufacturing this bottle, and this chemical is called bisphenol A. Anytime water or any consumable thing is poured into a plastic bottle like this chemical component called bisphenol A leaches into the water. So as you can see, this water is a water bottle I am drinking, or I bought and I'm drinking. But I can give you a very good assurance, or I can give you a very 100% assurance that this water is not 100% pure water. Since it is poured into a plastic bottle like this, automatically this bisphenol A has leached into this water. So I am not drinking only the water. but there is traces of what? Of bisphenol A, in the water. So as you see, I am drinking like this. Automatically, I have taken in the chemical. So that's why I'm saying that this one might sound a bit controversial, but our minds haven't gone there. I am not left out because this is the water I consume or I drink every now and then, every day. Automatically, I am drinking bisphenol A. So I am not surprised that many men are now crying that their performances are not good in the other room. So the best option is to always buy water, or is always buy things that are in glass bottles. Glass bottles are the best. But here in Ghana or here in Africa, glass water bottles are not common. They are very, very scarce. It is only the plastic bottles like this which is in the market. So you can see where many men are now falling on the pitch. Many men are now performing poorly on the pitch because even the water we consume, we drink, is contaminated with what? With a chemical called bisphenol A. And anytime bisphenol A gets into our system, it destroys some of the, internal organs such as the liver and so on and so forth. And automatically, our performance as men are going to be poor. So that's factor number 5. Number 6, beetroot. This might sound a bit controversial also, because beetroot happens to be one of the most popular vegetable. Everybody knows it, and people perceive beetroot to be very, very nutritious and very, very healthy. But the fact of the matter is that any man who is suffering from any form of poor performance in the other room, who is not able to perform very well in the other room, beetroot is not good for you, the man, or such men. This is simply because beetroot eliminate testosterone from our system. According to research, anytime you take in much beetroot, it brings the testosterone level of men very down. And you and I know that anytime your testosterone level gets down, automatically the drive of the game, or it brings the drive very down. It brings your performance very down. So men who are not performing very well on the pitch, who are not playing the ball very well, who are not able to satisfy their coaches, their spouses here and there, most of these men are all suffering from what we call hormonal imbalance, because the testosterone level have to be balanced before you can be able to perform very well in the other room. So if you are not performing very well in the other room, what it means is that your testosterone level is getting down. So if you are a fan of taking in beetroot juice, you are also adding, let's say, insult to injury. You are also making things very, very worse. You understand? Because beetroot will just eliminate the testosterone entirely. Okay, so beetroot is not good for men who seek to perform very well. Number 7, which will be our last food, is canned food. Foods that are stored in can. Okay, any food which is in a can, or which is produced in a can, is not good for you as a man. This is simply because such food contain high amount of dietary sodium. Okay, because these dietary sodium are used to preserve such food, so that it will let those food will have a long shelf life. So if dietary sodium is used in manufacturing certain food, automatically as a man, if you keep on eating it, your performance in the other room is going to be very, very abysmal. Like I always say, if this happens to be your first time watching us, kindly subscribe to this YouTube channel, and do not forget to also click onto the notification button and get notified anytime we bring you videos like this. And above all, kindly copy the link of this video and then share to any platform you belong, whether WhatsApp, whether Facebook, whether Instagram, any platform you belong. You can share the link to this platform, so that those people around you, your friends, your family, and people around you too, can get the opportunity to be part of this channel. See you again in the next one.